Hi guys, welcome along to another battle report. It's my Night Goblins up against the same High Elves again. My opponent's still trying to test out his army list for this upcoming tournament we've got. And he's got hold of a net list now, which is supposed to be extremely tough. So it should be a good fight for my Night Goblins. I left it to my opponent to set up the table. He said he wanted to practice on a really dense table with lots of terrain. He said it's going to be a weakness of his army. So I let him go ahead and do it. And this is what the table's looking like. We have a river down this left hand side, all mystical. It's got a T section on it, as well as a swamp. 2 buildings, fields, 3 mysterious woods. Yeah, it's pretty combined here. That's how it's looking so far. So, on my opponent's left, he's got a dragon. I can't remember which one it is. It had 7s as stats, I think, 7 wounds in that. So it's probably the star dragon. And on there he's got a hero who's got a magic lance and a 1-up save as well, so he's got a charm shield and that. And on his right he's got 2 eagles and busts of silver helms, and in there he's got a battle standard bearer with the banner of World Dragon, which is kind of an unusual thing to have. I always think giving especially elves their battle standards a magic standard means he's got no magic weapons, so he hasn't really got a very good save or ward save, so he's just got the 2-up he's relying on at the moment. And you've got my normal horde. So on my right hand side I've got my rock robber, I've got 50 spearmen with 1 fanatic, nets, and in there I've also got my warlord and standard bearer with the banner of discipline. And then I've got my archers, in there I've got my wizard. And I should have said I've got my fanatic and nets in there as well. And on my left I've got my squig herd, my doom diver, and my boss on giant cave squig. So we roll first turn. My opponent rolls pants, but I roll pantsiest, worse. Anyway, yeah, he got first turn and moves up, as you can see here. So my wizard got Gift of the Spider Guard and Sneaky Stabbing, and in my first turn, unfortunately, my unit of archers failed their animosity, so I've got no magical shooting from them. Excuse me. I just moved my squigs up for a probable flank. If they decide to charge for my squigs, I'm quite happy with that. The squigs will probably break anyway, but I'm not too fussed about it because they should do a lot of damage to their silver helms. My spearmen turn to face just a little bit, just so the dragons in their front arc, and then my battle standard and my war boss get out of that unit and go into the building. Sorry for the blurry, but my goblin war boss managed to get into the leading eagle. My stone thrower doesn't do very much because I managed to roll a 1 wound, but luckily my goblin doom diver came in and saved the day, and the lord on top's taken 1 wound and the dragon's taken 3. So my war boss quickly dealt with the eagle, and I bet you wonder where he went. His overrun was perfect and managed to get into the flank of the silver helms, so that's the them bogged down, and I don't think they overly got a big chance of doing too much damage to him either. So that he should be able to hold in my opponent's turn, which means I can get my support from my goblins and my squigs as well. So that is fantastic. So in the movement phase, he starts moving the dragon. As soon as he does that, it comes with an 8 of my night goblins. They release their first fanatic. He lands with his dragon and gets ready to flame my poor goblins. And took 22 wounds. Yeah, that was pretty nasty. Luckily I've got my battle standard and my general nearby in the building. So I charge in. He issues a challenge with his champion, and I obviously got no choice but to accept it. But then I end up killing off the champion for no damage for myself, and inflicting quite a few wounds on him, and I won combat, believe it or not. And my opponent went to take his test and rolled a 10. But luckily his standard bearer was a unit, so he got a reroll, but he still passed, which is unfortunate. I was really hoping he'd failed that one. But he reforms like this, which was fine with me because that gave me a front charge with my squigs and a good old flank charge with my goblins. The eagle comes in, does 1 wound to my um, Goblin Doomdiver, and I believe they do 1 wound back. But luckily for them, they've got their general nearby with the battle standard, so they're absolutely fine. So the eagle bounces. So in my turn, I pass all my animosities, and I manage to charge my archers and my squigs into the silver helms. My spearman unit turned around to face off against the dragon, to which I also added my war boss and battle standard. And that was it really. In my shooting phase I didn't do any more damage to the dragon. I did try and shoot at the eagle with my stone thrower, but rolled a 1 to wound again. I've got to look back at my battle reports and see how many times I've managed to roll a 1 to wound. In the combat phase, my goblin war boss killed the elf battle standard bearer. And then, oh no, he didn't, the squigs did. And then with the attacks from my boss and from the rest of the goblins, I managed to kill them and destroy them and ran them down with the squig on the war boss on cave squig. So in my opponent's turn, he charges in here and he will kill the Goblin Doomdiver this turn. And he also charges in here. I haven't taken lots of other photos because it's just me slowly dwindling. Believe it or not, my guys actually last until turn 6, and I got the last turn. It was my turn 6. But between that time, my Night Goblin war boss managed to kill the elf on top, and I got it down to 6 out of 7 wounds before I finally lost my steadfast and broke. So that was it. I also managed to shoot off the pigeon with my archers. No one else could ever get to this fight, so it was just between my spearmen. I did pretty well. I'd say I held off 4 turns of combat. That's just goblins with the battle standard in it. I placed the battle standard so he wasn't in combat. He was on a flank. When he charged in, he maximised to my war boss, so he was safe. And that's how it ended. So a really good game. Not so sure on this being a very tough net list, especially for my goblins, I suppose. But yeah, it was an interesting game. I enjoyed seeing the dragon out. So thanks for watching, guys. My goblins always enjoy taking on the elves that are few in number, and this was a good example of that. I think against some of the other armies, this net list might be quite tough, but I don't know. That battle standard bearer is too fragile for my liking. So that's me coming from having a goblin with no armor or anything. So we shall see. But thanks for watching. Please subscribe, please like, and I'll see you next time. Farewell.